I'm writing down the quote. Then I can make it all my
I do not have a pencil.
So basically, and you hold the unsafe hand. Then of course, as it comes around,
I've got an Nokia one. Colin, do you have a pencil? Yeah.
I don't really slowly take it much. So, hold this one like this.
No, you sit there. You sit there.
Yep.
What? I'm going to take your seat. Colin did. Colin took your seat.
You can do the vertical one, that's very good. Sorry about it. Good. Yep. Good.
Neither was I.
Yeah.
So basically hold it down.
Comes around. And then this is the difference.
I was there.
He's there. I want my phone back.
That must have. Good phone. Down the phone section.
This seems so small now compared to the 6
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah.
That's my backup. Shit. Where's my cover?
I don't know, I lost it.
There should be someone that wasn't called. Can you just check to see? Or otherwise it's lost. It was 25. Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's not on the roll.
Eli is in this room.
Yeah, I've got God. I can't. there if you lost
There's no
it.
pencils left.
Please join it. I think only 2 people have so far. It is compulsory,
I
and the
need
join
that
code
back.
expires on
That's my...
Friday. So please join before Friday. On here, there's a few pictures to kind of help you visualize examples from previous productions. It also has information of the context from last lesson. It has some stuff on second line, which we'll get to. It's got the coursework up there. It's last. I'll show you. It's the stuff I did with last year. And as yet, I've not changed what we're going to. Now, why are we always late? Like 3 times in a row, Eli?
I don't know. I'll make an effort.
Please do. It's got, like, this is all the coursework from my last year's year 11. So I haven't changed it. I think that's probably what we'll still stick to. So there's, like, if you want to have a look at what's ahead, then you can look on there. You'll get your assessment cards soon as well. Do you want the date? Do you want the week for that? I think that should be week 7. And it's always, English is always the first lesson of the week. So whenever you normally have your first 2 classes a week, that is always when your assessment task is due.
In the assessment, is the one from the assessment hall?
Yep.
Yeah, that's on Monday.
Yeah, but you might not have English on Monday. So it's always, and because it's a in-class test, you obviously can't have an English assessment if you don't have English on Monday. So, and that's just get used to that. That's what it always is for English, unless it's an exam. Okay. We are up to scene 7. Scene 7. I will change the characters. Julie, could you please read me? It's not. Maya, could you please read Christine? You haven't read yet, have you? In here, have you read yet?
No, just like right on.
True. Next time. Everyone's read now. If you like it, do it. And it should be everyone. Excellent. We if this were on stage, what's just happened on one side of the stage, they're still exiting. It's a conversation between Gary and Sue-Ann, who's making her a sandwich. On the other side are our kind of new characters, Christine, who we've just met, and Vince, who's the bloke at the hardware store. He is very weedy probably, I just imagine, skinny and small and really, really quiet and scared of everyone, especially someone like Christine, a very dominant sort of person. She comes in, she's already angry at her brother, and she's walked into the hardware store, like, ready to, like, yell the place down. And then there's poor old Vince who's scared of a butterfly. Okay, a hardware store. Vince works behind the counter. He's about 21, weedy, nervous, his face in a permanent bleach, as if to be expecting to be yelled at. He fluffs and shrinks his body back from people as if apologising for himself constantly. Most people terrify Vince, so Christine reduces him to a speechless, quivering stupor. She's in her business clothes, brisk, wanting to get this business out of the way. Vince opens his mouth but can't get any words out.
What kind of deliveries? Hardware?
And building materials and that.
So what's going on with deliveries to who?
To the bloke building the house.
Someone's building a house.
Bloke who owns the place.
Vince flinches at the sharp tone in Christine's voice and nods nervously.
Oh my god, he's building a house.
Vince nods again, shrinking back behind the counter.
Oh Jesus, bloody Gary, what's he doing? What's he using for money? How's he paying for the stuff he does?
Vince freezes with terror, and Christine is intrigued.
Their hands are shaking because they got some sort of problem.
Vince shrugs. He just wants Christine to go away.
You know what Gary thinks he's doing up there?
Look, I don't know. I might be talk to his girlfriend.
Christ, he's got a woman up there and he's dragged some poor bloody woman out.
She turns to see Vince cowering behind the counter, shaking.
Well, Vince, can you tell me about to find out what I do?
Okay, house site, daytime. Gary is on a ladder, hammering the roof structure together. Dave and Sue Ann sit nearby. She's even more hugely pregnant. So you can see between each scene, the house is growing, and so is Sue Ann.
Dave reckons you'd need twice this many paddocks to grow sheep on.
Does he? This is strictly hobby farm size. You should sit there on.
Oh yeah, sorry, I get it. Yep, keep going.
You should sit there on your puddings all day and you'd know all about sheep.
He's mad for a start. Where are we going to get the money to buy the little sheep?
I can hear you, Sue Ann. I've told you before. This winter I'm going to use the chimney to cut firewood, drive it to Sydney and sell. $40 or $50 a trailer load.
So chaining the chainsaw, that's what they bought it earlier.
Hard work, Gary. Knackering to get decent money that way. For someone with a work allergy like you, mate, it would be. Sure you left enough room for the guttering there, mate? What? You come and do it then, smartass.
Sorry, teasing the six one. Is that you? You stop.
Oh, whoops. Oh, Gary's getting shit.
Gary reaches across too far on the ladder and nearly loses his balance. The ladder wobbles. Gary whoops with fright. And that's your part.
Oh, why is it so excited? Want me to hold it steady?
No way, I don't want you doing physical stuff.
He starts to come down the ladder and it wobbles dangerously again. Reluctantly, Dave gets up and goes over to hold the ladder steady. Gary and Sue Ann roar and whistle with mock amazement.
I don't believe it.
Hey, Gary, we were wrong. He can walk.
Don't do yourself a damage, mate.
Dave smiles happily.
I want it.
Gary gets down the ladder and confronts Dave seriously.
Listen, Dave, I've been thinking about it. Speeding things up a lot if you were to work everything. Come on, mate, you know. Hold on, let me finish. What I'm saying is, you help me get the place up, then I help you build the old house, work together. Ooh. Oh, ooh. Look, thanks, Gary.
Gary looks
would be a good partnership.
Okay, it's a good quote here, and it's a good moment. So, Gary is not asking for a lifelong commitment. He's not even asking for him, Dave, to be serious friends. He's just asking for a partnership. Of course, Dave has a serious commitment allergy. So I want you to underline that it could be a good partnership, and right next to it, commitment. And what comes up as another interesting concept is this idea of abandonment. This isn't, I'm just building you up to it so that you can watch out for it, because Gary was abandoned so often in his life that when someone abandons him in any situation, he really struggles to deal with it. So he offers the partnership. What does Dave say?
Thanks for the offer, really, mate. But I've been talking to this bloke. He lined me up for some work in Spain. I get an apartment, have a bit of a holiday before services and stuff. Well, you know, if you'd rather.
Oh dear, Gary. Like you'd rather stay in this shit hole instead of going to Spain.
Gary notices Suanne rummaging in her pocket.
Okay, what's in your pocket?
He lunges across and pulls a handful of crumble bar wrappers out of the pocket.
Jesus H. Christ, this baby will be born with rotten teeth.
That's stupid. They don't even have teeth when they come out.
Have you eaten anything decent today?
Yeah.
Like hell.
He stalks off towards the campsite. Suanne bellows after him.
It's my body, shithead.
Turning to Dave, grinning.
I reckon if God exists, he sent Gary to me.
It's a nice little section, isn't it? Because Suanne, she's like fighting him. She doesn't want to eat properly. She like goes between being excited about the baby to actually wishing she'd never decided to have it. But in the same sentence here, she says, "It's my body." I don't swear. Stop head. I reckon if God exists, he sent Gary to me. So it's like, she does love him, she appreciates it, but she's just a child who can't even tell what to do.
You really love me, don't you reckon?
Yeah, I do.
Every guy I was ever with treated me like shit except Gary.
Gary marches back up to them, carrying a cardboard box full of fruit and vegetables.
I did not buy these to make this tent look beautiful.
Suanne pulls his face.
Those peaches are alright.
You eaten them.
For Christ's sake. Roger, we was working all of it a few days.
Dave bites into a peach, dribbling it down his chin.
Very tasty.
Gary grabs a bunch of grapes and starts stuffing them in his mouth.
Look at these, they're beautiful.
Laughing.
I'm glad you guys are happy.
Gary and Dave make a great show of enjoying the fruit. Gary grabs Suanne and tries to entice her to eat grapes. She giggles and they wrestle affectionately.
Car turning in the gate.
Suanne and Gary follow Dave's eye line to watch the approaching car.
No. You know who's that? That is. No, that is.
Dave and Suanne are too interested in the arrival to notice that Gary's smile is faded, his face set hard. Suanne gallops clumsily down towards Christine as she walks towards the house site. Gary nods in greeting to Christine.
Who is she?
My sister.
Oh, yeah, really?
Oh, you Gary.
Alright.
Christine reaches Suanne's pregnant belly.
Oh my God, you told me to.
What'd you say? What did you say, Gary?
You're building a house?
Oh dear, she's a genius.
It's a bit 90s, but it's oh duh.
Oh.
Yeah. She's a genius. Yeah. Christine ignores Suanne dancing around there. She just wants to get it sorted out and get out of there.
You told this piece of land isn't shiny.
Gary nods.
Joint deep because what's that mean?
She looks to Gary, but he's too rich of attention to answer.
Gary, hey, answer me.
It makes this land look like more than one person.
What other person did you?
Shut up, Sam.
I really are the beneficiary.
Beneficiary.
I don't hard.
What? Did you know that?
Gary doesn't answer. Christine starts to bristle, losing her reasonable tone.
If have to sort this out, don't we?
Is that really your sister?
Said be quiet, Sue-Ann.
How are you going to do this?
Why don't you piss off?
Yeah, it's all.
Listen to me, Gary.
Mimicking her.
I'll deal with this through the solicitor.
She spins on her heel and heads back to her car.
How come you never told me?
Shut up, Sue-Ann.
He has a sudden change of heart. He's moved lurching into something much more open and vulnerable. A good stage direction there to show Gary's soft side. Yep.
Christine, hold on a minute. Christine?
Christine stops and turns back.
Look, I know I should have. I don't want to make trouble with you, but I know I should have.
She stands there, not wanting to meet the needy, sentimental gaze Gary is sending her.
How are you anyway? You look good.
I'm alright, Gary.
Looking fine. Still working for the same mom?
New job. I'm on the road most of the time now.
Okay, who's she like? Christine moves around. Dave, yeah, see the parallel. So she doesn't have any commitment. She never stays in one place. Either she does not have a sense of purpose.
Oh yeah. Selling? What kind of work then? What's, I don't know.
It's auditing and it's doing it like
What's
No,
all
why
you
not?
mean?
Christine went to tech.
Christine went to tech, did accounting and that.
I don't give a stuff. I want to know what auditing means.
I'm working for a company of various retail chains. I go around to the branch stores to check the books and so
So
on.
that's what auditing means. She checks books.
Make sure people haven't got their hands in the till. A narc job.
A narc is like someone who tells on someone like, oh, that was yeah.
Shut up, Sue-Ann.
I bet everyone hates your guts when you roll into town.
Gary suddenly moves closer to Christine with a gush of emotion. She backs off, stiffens.
All we've got is each other, Christine.
What about me?
Let's do this together. Together, basically.
Hey, don't I get to say that? Wait. Hey, don't I get to say in this shit? How come you...
Dave reaches out a hand to restrain Sue-Ann gently.
Let me talk.
Christine flushes her attention onto Dave. Dave turns on a charming smile. Christine doesn't respond, stony faced.
I'm not part of any setup. Look, Chrissy, all we've got is each other. Remember when I ran away that time and I found where you were living?
Christine is determined not to get drawn into the painful memories Gary is revving up, but despite herself, she gets upset, squashing it down with bad temper.
I can remember as clear as anything. You had a blue check school uniform on. You must have been 14 or 15. At least I came back and looked for you.
Barracking for Gary.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Oh,
She's good. Yeah.
oh yeah, right.
I always thought you'd track me down.
Gary turns to Sue-Ann for a sympathetic audience.
When I first got dumped at the foster home, I remember thinking, my big sister will come and rescue me.
Your big sister was 9 years old.
We can help each other now.
Gary never said you were such a bitch, ran out on you when he was a little kid.
Tell your little bitch strike to shut her mouth.
She's so rude.
Don't talk to Sue-Ann like that.
He's just asking you to help him.
Listen, honey, I've helped him plenty. I don't know what bullshit he's funding, but I've done a shitload of family training. Forget to tell her how many times I've bailed you out of trouble, Gary, how much money you've sucked out of me.
I'm not asking for money, Chrissy.
Shit, I see what you mean, Gary. What a bitch.
I never said that, Sue-Ann.
He's a bottomless pit, sweetheart. You should better piss him off now.
Okay, Christine's way of saying that she even thinks that Sue-Ann should abandon Gary.
Yeah, but what would you know?
Sorry about all the language here, people, but you can see why it's used. Meanwhile, Gary has sparked into a stiff-necked rage, stabbing his finger at Christine.
Don't you dare say anything. Don't you tear me down. I'm not going to let you tear me down.
This is a bloody balls up, isn't it? Why did he make it a joint class typical of that husband? Leaves a mess behind him. Has a good girl at running things even when he's dead.
Gary's circling, concentrating on not losing his temper.
I want to sell my share of the land, and you don't have the money to buy me out, do you?
Gary shakes his head. The more he tries to settle down, the more Christine's words wind him up.
Then you can't build a house if you want.
This is my house.
He walks to his toolbox.
Be realistic for once in your bloody life, Gary. You cannot build a house on land you don't own. It's being so simple.
Gary keeps his back to her, facing the toolbox.
I'm building this house. I'm not going to let you tear me down.
Come on, Gary, don't make it any worse.
Oh my God, you really...
Gary turns around with a gun in his hand. Okay, this is the tone shift in the play. Okay, we've had a bit of prose, we've been building it up. As soon as you see that gun on stage, and remember you don't have props on stage without them being used for something, you know something bad is going to happen. Okay, so that's the tone shift.
You better go.
Fucking hell, I didn't know you had a gun.
For Christ's sake, put the gun away, mate. I just wanted to get away from my house.
You poor mad bastard.
Piss off. Now.
Christine shakes her head and goes. Gary sucks in some deep breaths and forces his body into a controlled posture. He walks slowly back to the toolbox and puts the gun back. Dave and Sue Ann are both too scared of the gun to say anything. They hold their breath, watching to see what Gary will do next. Gary grabs tools and timber and hurls his body back into work. Scene 9. Okay, so this is the tension's really building now. Between scenes, Gary works, putting on the roofing tin, a corner in a grubby small town pub. Christine sits by herself with a bottle of wine open and on the table in front of her. When she sees Dave come in, she's prickly and aggressive with him. Okay, so we've still got the house building over this side, but for this scene, it's a whole different setting. They probably did it where the hardware store is on the stage because they can't dismantle a house between scenes. So it's probably just a simple setup, couple of chairs to resemble a bar, and Christine is sitting there with a bottle of wine by herself drinking. So she's still in town, she hasn't left, but they're no longer at the house site.
Have you come here to talk me into giving Gary that land?
Yeah, came in for a drink.
Christine watches him carefully standing by her table. She's still sharp and defensive.
But while you're here, you're going to have a go at me though.
Dave turns to her with a charming smile.
That's Gary's business. Nothing to do with me.
She doesn't take her eyes off him, noticing how he occupies the space with easy grace. When Dave turns back to address her again, she starts a little, feeling caught out for staring. So she was basically checking him out and then gets caught out for checking him out because he turns around. He whispers to her, laughing conspiratorially, as if they were already intimates.
All the pub regulars are having a good sticky date, but you can't work you out.
Well, maybe you should really give them something to wonder about while you drink this wine.
Yeah, thanks. I'll get another glass from the bar.
Christine watches him move across to fetch a wine glass and then slide himself into the chair. He knows she's watching him. She pours him a glassful.
Thank you. Looks like my day's improving.
He flashes her a grin, he's trying, and she can't help smiling in reply. Then she bites the smile off her face, still wary of the sky.
You're a neighbor of Gary's.
I'm the guy's next door neighbour.
So he avoids any kind of connections to a friendship or relationship.
That's about it.
Dave concentrates on enjoying his wine for a moment. He scrutinizes him sharply, looking for accusation.
What do you think I'm a whole bitch?
Hey? Look, I don't think anything comes of it.
Gary says I should write everything I heard.
I guess you could say that.
Has he done the big speech for you about when we were kids and all that?
Yeah, it's quite a speech.
He reels that out for anyone who will listen to him.
Oh, I know.
He loves it, making people feel sorry for him.
Yeah. He has had a rough deal.
Lots of people get a rough deal.
That's true, too.
I could do a sob story like that, make you feel bloody sorry for me.
I bet you could.
outlook.
Do you always agree with whoever's paying for the booze you're drinking?
Dave jerks his head as if she's socked him in the face, but he's laughing too.
You don't feel like you have to hold back, Christine.
I remember shooting you, seeing Gary, seeing that being struggling with
I don't know if you know, scribe is like a slang for another word for a female that begins with S and ends with love. Yeah. Christine spits out the word. Her whole body is consumed with anger, much like Garrett. So it's really rude. She's really rude to her. Christine, she's changing tone here.
And that poor baby, what chance has it got? Rule number 1, never have kids which are damaged. Like me and Gary, the least you can do is not pass it on to some poor kid. Oh God, if I think about it too much, I'll get depressed.
Okay, so Christine's really picked it out. She's spelling out what this whole play is about. It's about changing the cycle, or breaking the cycle. So remember how I put the list of themes on the board? This one is about breaking the cycle. She says, if you're damaged like me, underline this bit, if you're damaged like me and Gary, the least you can do is not to pass it on to some poor kid. So her solution to not passing on the damage, the stuff that she's gone through onto her children is simply not having children, which is a pretty interesting view. Okay, so, and obviously Gary, he's got a different opinion. His idea is to try and actually change it and make things right.
Yeah, don't think about it.
Christine takes a deep breath. She realizes she's just subjected Dave to a mouthful.
So how come I haven't screwed it all?
You're not angry with me, are you?
He grins at her and she finally lets herself smile back.
So if you reckon you're not here to talk about Gary, what are you doing?
Come to the pub for a drink.
Why are you having a drink with me?
Look around.
He indicates the rest of the bar. Christine casts her eye over the other occupants,
Of course I'd be sitting here. I'm invited.
laughing.
God, what a lie, not even subtle.
Maybe not subtle, but never bullshit.
Oh, I feel like being fired so much.
Dave settles into his chair, really relaxed now, sure where the evening is going. Christine looks around the bar.
A lot of walking in the background today. Don't look like a local.
I grew up here. Left when I was 17. But these mad bastards never leave. Why do you think I don't live here?
Carl loses everywhere he goes.
That's why I don't stay anywhere very long.
Okay, very good quote for Dave. That's why I don't stay anywhere very long, because he doesn't want to be part of the walking wounded that Christine's just referred to. He admits to it. He knows he doesn't want to commit to things. He just wants to be able to be free and wander the earth, go to different places, have different jobs, and not let anything tie him down. And Christine?
To avoid things that might depress you, you learn.
Dave pays her the point again and right but corrects the detail.
Roam the world.
I would have thought my poor, mad little brother was full of depressing sights to be seen in this little hemisphere.
Yes and no. Something about Gary's demands your attention.
Picking up the almost empty bottle of wine bottle.
Reckon we could get through another bottle of this?
Well, I'm going to need to drink a bit more before I can copy them and 3 hours ago.
As we kid on.
Jesus, you're direct, aren't you?
Have I scared you off now?
Not at all.
He fills their glasses with the last of the wine. She watches him carefully. I like that line.
I don't like that word. I prefer to see myself as a conscientious objector in the world of relationships.
Good quote, obviously, for relationships.
Too negative.
I prefer to see myself as a conscientious, as in someone who's aware, objector, because these are conscientious objectors to
In the war.
Like he's just a conscientious, but that's someone who didn't go off and fight. But he's saying, I've chosen not to actually take part in relationships. He fears commitment, basically. Stray sounds too negative.
Stray sounds too negative.
is negative, this is disapproval.
I like Mama.
Christine leans back and makes a show of scrutinizing him.
Oh, yeah. I don't bullshit anyone. I've got a few rules I stick to. Never promise anything.
Christine waves her hand to stop him. She's smiling, even as she's saying critical things. And Dave takes it from her because he can tell she likes him.
I'm very familiar with that stage. Guys like me don't
More consistently.
I want to be a unique individual, okay?
In fact, I used to fall for guys like you. If I have Christine gets all guys again.
But not anymore.
I don't expect anything from anyone that's not disappointed, as Christine say.
She tosses her room key across and he catches it. She laughs, relaxes a little.
Maybe I should give Gary my share of that land and be done with it. Gary thinks he's having fun. Gary thinks too much.
And you don't.
When I'm working, I don't let myself think about anything else.
But what about when you finish work?
Well, I'm usually in a hotel room somewhere, and I work up with the exactly the right amount of alcohol for a certain kind of deviation that you can stop things. And if it doesn't work and I start getting sorry for myself, then a nice spray will box off something.
She's very upfront, Christine. Okay, so if you can underline the one, I've worked out the formula exactly the right amount of alcohol plus a certain kind of TV show, and you can stop thinking. This is her reaction to the commitments and responsibilities in the world. She looks around to see a look of distaste on Dave's face. I think that's your one.
Think about this.
Hey, I don't judge.
He feels relaxed, benign mood darken as he feels the relaxed, benign mood darken as Christine's body stiffens with anger again.
Yes, you do. Guys like you say I am judged, but I'm looking at the English people who judge them.
Dave starts to retreat from her.
Listen,
Christine can feel that he's shrinking away.
Now I understand why.
I told you, I've got a few rules.
Come on, I don't believe a guy like you's got a rule against exploiting a situation like this.
I know, I guess not. But I've got a rule about keeping clear of sad shit. Stuff that,
Stuff that makes you depressed.
yeah, so,
He hands her the room key. She doesn't reach to take it, so gives it back.
Okay.
no, look, Christine,
You won't have to see me again, but I mean, I won't be coming back to this place. I can promise you.
Doesn't she sound a bit desperate? Doesn't she sound very, very lonely? She's like forcing this guy to come and like sleep with her.
I know.
We'll never lay eyes on each other again.
But he holds the key out to her. He's not going to be persuaded. She tries a cheeky smile.
You don't have to worry about ruining my dignity. I don't have any.
She barks a laugh and Dave can't help but smile, but he's still firm. She tries straight and needy appeal.
Stay with me, look, I just, please stay.
She can see he won't change his mind. Finally, she takes the key from his hand and he disappears into the darkness. She stays slumped against the bar stools. Okay, what word is repeated there? Dave. What theme does that connect with?
Dave doesn't stay.
What theme?
Responsibility.
Responsibility, commitment. It's also the flip side is obviously abandonment and irresponsibility. So Christine is begging for this man to stay. She really wants this. She wants some sort of relationship in the world, but Dave doesn't want anything to do with it. So you can see, even though they both obviously are missing something, there's a hole in their lives, they don't know what to do to fill it, and they're both taking different measures to try and make themselves happy. Okay, is this the last scene of the act? Yes, it is. Okay, the house site is dark, but Gary is still working by lamplight. Sue-Ann is prowling, no cheating, no look at the end of the scene. Sue-Ann is prowling around here. She is grimly thoughtful rather than hysterical.
We've had it now. We've fucked it now.
We'll be okay.
Should go to the cops and then we.
She won't go to the cops.
Well, lawyers then.
I'll work it out.
You reckon? How come you never said someone else owns the place.
Half. We own a half.
Sue-Ann starts to cry, limp and feeble.
Where are we going to live? Where's this little boy going to live?
Here, in this house.
Sue-Ann looks at him and shakes her head.
Oh, Gary,
Don't cry, babe.
you said she won't change her mind, so we're stuck.
Gary runs over to hug her.
Please don't cry, honey. I'll talk to her. I'll fix this.
Sue-Ann pulls away, shaking her head.
I can't listen to you anymore. I have to do this before I change my mind.
Getting yourself all dressed up about nothing.
I'm leaving.
Don't talk rubbish, Sue.
Going back to Sydney, get this baby adopted.
The instant he hears the word adopted, Gary stops working. He's gulping for air as if she's visited him.
Don't say that to her. Not even joking. Not even trying to rile me up. Don't ever say that.
This baby would be better off with a proper family and that. I've thought about it.
Take it back. Take it back. You can't say it.
Sue-Ann rushes around, collecting up her belongings.
I'm going to do this before you change my mind.
Sue-Ann.
He chases after her, frantic. Sue-Ann panting, partly from exertion and partly because she's revving herself up to go through with it. When Gary sees the bag, his panic increases.
You're not really going, are you, Sue-Ann? Say you're not going.
The pain in his voice almost gets to her, but she just chants loudly, keeping up her frantic packing.
I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to you.
You're tearing out my heart, Sue-Ann.
I'm taking the ute. I'll leave him in town for you.
Gary is crying now, his voice breaking as he pleads with her.
Don't do this, babe.
He blocks her path down to the ute. She stands her ground, but head down to avoid meeting his eyes.
Let me get past.
Don't leave. Don't give our baby away. I can't let you do it.
Let me go, Gary.
She's suddenly frightened of him as he blocks her path.
You're not going to hurt me, are you?
No, Sue-Ann. I've never heard this. I'd never do that.
The suggestion that he might hurt her seems to kill the last energy to resist that Gary has. His body slumps, and Sue-Ann takes the chance to scoot past him.
Don't go, Sue-Ann. Stay. Stay.
There it is again. He disappears off stage. Gary is heaving for breath as he watches her go, winding himself up into a fit of frustrated rage. He circles, but the fight's gone out of him. He's more torn up than angry now. He prowls aside the life knocked of him. A torch beam hits up his face as someone approaches. He looks up and sees that it's Dave. I just want to give you a couple of quotes to show you that Gary is losing and then loses hope. The first one at the top, "You're tearing out my heart, Sue-Ann." So it says, "You're tearing out my heart, Sue-Ann," to page 39. Then the stage direction, the suggestion that he might have heard her just go from kill the last energy to resist that Gary has. Then he pleads with her, the line, "Don't go, Sue-Ann, stay, stay." And then the stage direction, "But the fight's gone out of him." I'll do it again so in case you missed it. So, "Tearing out my heart, Sue-Ann." Then the stage direction to kill the last energy to resist that Gary has. It's like almost halfway down. And then halfway on the page, Gary's quote, "Don't go, Sue-Ann, stay, stay." And then the stage direction in the middle of that batch there, "But the fight's gone out of him." And so you can see just there on that page the hope slowly disappearing from Gary. Okay? And we as the audience, it's a very emotionally tense moment. We as the audience, we just want for Sue-Ann to stay, we want for Gary, but we know kind of deep down since that motif of the gun appeared, we know that something is going to happen. Dave.
I saw Sue-Ann go past in the years. She's gone. God. That's me. She's gone to get the baby adopted. That's what she said.
Yeah, Sue-Ann says a lot of things. Probably just having a tantrum. She'll be back still.
No, I mean it. I know her. She'll do it.
Yes, sorry.
She'll do it. She'll do it.
Dave watches Gary circling, leaving for breath. Dave's torn between his urge to back right away, quote, this is good, that Dave's torn between his urge to back right away, avoid this, and his immediate concern for Gary.
Look, I reckon in the morning she'll be in a better mood than you can.
No, going to do this thing. I know her.
Dave's nervous of Gary's potential violence. He takes another step back.
All right, mate, all right. Look, do you want me to stick around for a while?
You don't have to.
I'll stay around if you reckon.
I'll sort myself out.
Get some sleep, mate. In the morning I'll come over. We can work out what to do. She might even be back by then.
Gary shakes his head emphatically.
Well, anyway, I'll be back. First thing. We'll talk, eh, mate? Sure you'll be okay.
Gary turns to face the house and flicks his head. It's not really a nod, but Dave, unblushing, chooses to take it as a stand. Dave.
Okay. See you in the morning. Get some sleep.
Dave disappears into the darkness, and at first, Gary doesn't realise he's gone. So he's talking to Dave, but he's just talking on stage by himself.
She tore out my heart. I can feel it. She tore out my heart.
Gary turns around to see that Dave hasn't hurt him. He's gone. Quote. Gary goes over to the toolbox and takes out the gun. He sits down in the frame of the front doorway of the house. He sits for a moment, working himself up to do it. Then he swings the gun around with the barrel in his mouth. End of Act 1. So, a very emotional moment.
Fire.
Pardon?
Does he actually fire?
Yeah. So, Gary commits suicide at the end of Act 1. So, yeah, that's the high tension moment in the play. We've just lost our main protagonist. The play is called Gary's House. There's 2 acts. And Gary has not stayed.
It's actually interesting now.
Yeah, it gets interesting, yeah. We really, they do it so well. Oswald does it so well. She really makes Gary into someone that you want to survive. At this stage, you probably couldn't care less about Christine, Sue-Ann, maybe even Dave. If he left and got on a plane, you'd be a little bit disappointed. But it's Gary that she's really raised our hopes for, just as he's raised his hopes with the house on stage. Okay, and now, at the beginning of Act 2, it begins with the deserted house. It's abandoned, and just as Gary was abandoned, so was the house. So his dream of building the house is gone, Gary's gone, and the audience, like, they may have gone and got their Maltesers and their coffee in the middle of, intermission, but they're devastated, right? They're like, what's the rest of the play? I may as well just go home. The main guy is dead. So now we've got to, we want to know what happens. We want to know what happens to the rest of these characters. And we really want, don't we want for the house to be built? Like, even though Gary's gone, we still want for his dream to come to fruition. And that's going to be what happens in the rest of Act 2.
Dave and Christine are going to get together though.
Well, let's not assume.
I feel like they would have, but I don't think.
Yeah.
Not together in the sense neither of them would do that. Probably just one.
All right. What time is it? Excellent. Okay, I didn't think that we would get to this, but I would actually like you to take out your exercise books, please. So obviously suicide is another thematic concern and issue and idea that's now in play. They're very complex characters. That's what makes them really interesting. That they're not completely simple. Like Gary's not just blokey, he's really emotionally sensitive.
eso viene.
I need a book.
All right. This is both my favorite acronym and my
It was from my
favorite
locker.
because it's so stupid, but you seem to remember it. So I'm going to teach you how to write a sexy paragraph. Okay, that's your acronym. And I want you to write the whole thing down. I'll just write this out because it's hard to see.
Do we have to write?
I would like you to write questions on Gary's house, and then I would like you to write the whole thing, please.
But not complete the whole thing.
No. I'm going to give you this as a sheet. I just want to teach you how to do this bit first. This is like, if you learn one thing all term, please let it be this. Okay? I don't care if you even, don't even finish reading the play. If you've learnt this, I will be happy, right? This is something that I want you to use for the rest of your year 11 and 12. Again, not quite much, but while you study English and maybe when you're writing at the time. It may even help you with your other subjects. Okay, so when you're writing a paragraph, it's important to have paragraph structure. Can anyone tell me what you start a paragraph with? It may have a different word according to, it's not on there, it may have a different word according to different schools, but topic sentence. I am going to buy you a violet crumble bar, if I can find one in Woolworths, otherwise you get a crunchy. Because that is the most important thing, okay? Topic sentences. In other words, statement. Every paragraph must begin with a topic sentence, a statement. Your statement is going to say what your paragraph is about. For the purposes of answering a question, a full paragraph question, short answer question, then you answer the question in full. But a statement or a topic sentence in an essay, in anything, is just saying, you just say what your paragraph is about. That's what statement is. That's what a topic sentence is. If it helps to remember sentence instead of statement, I don't care. Your paragraph must have a topic sentence. Any paragraph you write, ever, in English, has to have a topic sentence. Okay. I'm going to ask that question again, what a paragraph begins with, and I will try and see if I can get a couple of vowels on the bug. So if you answer that question, still. Right. Explain. That's you just expand on your main point. So that you've said what your paragraph is about, and then you just expand on it. Okay, I'm going to give you an example in a minute so it makes sense. Thirdly, example. I want you to use the pattern of quotes, technique, effect, and meaning. I'll explain what that means in a second. You can do it in any order. It can be technique, quote, effect. It can be meaning, technique, effect, and quote. It doesn't matter as long as you've got all of those four things in there. And that might take 2 sentences to do. This isn't all like one sentence each. That middle part is where you're getting a lot of marks in your short answers in the HSC and where you're getting a lot of marks in your essays. Then lastly, evaluate. Evaluate means to make a judgment and have an opinion. So if the question has asked to what extent, what is the significance of a theatrical device, That is at the last point where you say, in your opinion, whether you think Oswald's done a good job about it. Has it been effective? It's like you're the debater, you're driving it home, the third speaker. Okay, so the first question is describe the house in scene 1. What is the significance of the theatrical device? And when everyone's finished copying down the stuff on the board, I'll bring it up and I've done the answer for you so you can see the expectation. You don't have to write anything else because I'm going to give you a printed copy of this. I just wanted to emphasize that we finished. No, it means I love it because it works, but I hate it so much all the time. Mr. Ducalado? No. Oh, that's just okay, phones away please. Let's read this. Pay attention, Jesse. Can you just, I hate to say play down for a sec. I'm going to read this through with you. I've colour coordinated so that you can see each of the different things. If this is going to seem like overkill to you, that's okay. I've done it so that you can see the example of it all done perfectly. Okay? Describe the house in scene 1. What is the significance of this theatrical device? So, Oswald has utilised a set design symbolically to represent the hopes and dreams of the characters on the stage. Throughout the play, the house builds and falls as Gary's hope of starting a new life, as does Gary's hope of starting a new life. So I've explained my main point. Then I'm going to prove it. In Act 1, Scene 1, we can see the brick footing of a small house. That's a quote. It's a stage direction, it's still a quote. It still counts as a quote. This symbolic set design, that's the technique, so we've got quote and technique, has the effect of representing the foundational stages of Gary's small dream. This is an effective theatrical device and helps the audience visualise the power of the Australian dream. Okay, that is, if that question was worth 3 marks in the HSC, because remember the short answer paper in the HSC, that would be a 3-mark question, that would be 3 out of 3. That's how you do it. Okay? Do you understand that therefore each part of a paragraph is going to represent the different functions of the paragraph in order to make sure you're maximising your marks? Yes?
Would you say it's just his dream? Because I can also see this as his happiness, because the house builds, it's just a baby's thing.
Okay, in an essay you can expand upon all the ideas. In short answer, you've only got a short amount of time, so you're getting to the point. Does that make sense? So if you want to go with one idea, fine. In an essay, you can kind of go on the one hand it's this, on the other hand it's probably illustrated with that, but you don't. You want to do a quick. Okay. How much time do we have?
10 more.
Okay. Could you start with question 1? Why do you think Oswald refers to the contents of Sue Ann's bag? Just write that question down. Have a look at the play. Try to use the paragraph. Try to use techniques and quotes. I know it's going overboard in answering a little simple question that I'm sure you could all perfectly well answer in one sentence, but I want you to practice using paragraph structure because, like I said, if that's the one thing you learn this term, then you've done really well. You've met my full expectation. Yeah. Yeah, you'll get this, but I just don't have it. I wanted it in colour.
Yes.
And so that's pretty much like I'm going to have to give blood to get the colour printed. 10 minutes to do it. And then when you finish, you can put your hand up and I'll come around and have a look.
On what page do they reserve the button?
I think it's like page. Anyone?
The first page.
Yeah.
I might do it again.
Yeah. Am I writing? I wrote a really, really neat, perfect one, and then someone stole it. So second time around.
Wait, is this the one about the water bag?
So you know what's in the bag before you cease to act. That's it. Switching the computer for a second, otherwise Eli's parents is going to get a little text message. Finish? At this point you don't, but you never analyse something from the point of when you just read it. You normally analyse it from the point of view of the concept. So Oz will just kind of stimulate you a few things by using this.
Design. Figure out. Is that 80?
And then now you've got to. Thank you. I can look at the next lesson. We'll be working on that next lesson.
Hasn't he trained you?
Did she organize it yet? Today you have to work out. Because you're going to go there today. Why did you get that?